20 years. That is right. This is our 20th year in business. Started April 2003, and it has been an amazing ride for this past 20 years. I would have never dreamed in a million years that Hunterworks, our company, would have become what it is today. What I personally think is one of the leaders in the clutching area today. It's certainly not how we started off. So I'm just going to give you a brief history of Hunterworks, tell you a few things you might not know, where the name come from, first products, what our logo that we've had forever means. So stick with me, and we're going to just give you a little brief history about Hunterworks. Where'd the name come from? Well, my son, I have one child, his name is Hunter. So that's obviously where the Hunter came from. And when I was trying to make a website back in 2003, all the good site names that I could think of were taken. Well, there was this local company called Soule Steamworks, and for some reason or other, I liked that name and liked the works, so I put Hunter and Works together, put it in the search deal. It wasn't taken, so voila, Hunterworks. Okay, so the very first products at Hunterworks were for John Deere Gators, a 4x2 John Deere Gator. Why? Super quick story. My ex-wife, Hunter's mother, was a nurse, and she said, and worked in surgery. She says, Hunter's never riding that four-wheeler again. Had a child come in, half his scalp was off. He was riding with his daddy. Hunter's not riding with him. Hunter was about, let's see, in 2003, he'd have been 4 years old. All right, so I was into yard work. I bought me a John Deere Gator. It was safe. I needed a few things, went to eBay. Guess what this is? Literally our very first product ever, and it was a failure. There were two-piece receiver hitches for John Deere Gators, and I was like, why in the crap do you need two pieces when I can make one? I had just bought myself a little wire welder, and I was just excited to do something with it, stick some metal together. I needed a hitch, and I saw these, and I was like, let's make them. So I made 10 and shipped about 7 out, I think, and I put my very own on my own Gator. And one day I was dumping the bed, and the bed hits this and wouldn't dump, and I went, now I know why there's a two-piece. So I started making two-piece, but in the beginning, I was making John Deere Gator accessories in 2003, and dump bed extensions, winch mounts, receiver hitches, brush guards, and then we got too busy, or I say we, it's still me at that time, and have somebody make them for me. But in the beginning, I was making them. I was a fireman, federal fireman on a Navy base, worked 24 on, 24 off, gave me something to do. We started selling spreaders and sprayers too. So all for John Deere Gator. 2004 happened, and came around, and the Yamaha Rhino 660, the first sport style UTV, came about, and I just happened to be in a good place with a website, and so we got one and started selling a few products. And believe it or not, guys, believe it or not, and I guess I'm proud of this, is far as all the millions of places you can buy UTV accessories today, you're looking at one of probably 3 people at the time in 2004 that had a website. So if you wanted to buy something for your Rhino, you had to come to me, or Black Rhino, or I think Willow Racing was around. There wasn't but just 2 or 3 of us. So we're kind of one of the founding fathers of UTV accessories. And as time went on, you know, we changed a lot. I mean, we were doing windshields, brake pads, brush guards, you name it, roofs. We used to make our own roofs, pretty cool, windshields, etc. But over the years, we graduated to clutching. And so I think probably since 2012, we got back into the Polaris stuff. And that's where the most of our focus has been since 2012. We've tried to keep up with some Yamaha stuff, and I'll still do a few Yamaha things. We've done Kawasaki and etc. But you'll see what we are today. We make our own belts. We're making our own clutches. So it's just transformed. All right. So what does our logo mean? Now, let's see if anybody can think about colors and what this might mean. So I'll use our hitch as an example. So we got an H, obviously Hunter. We have a W, Hunterworks. What colors are these? These are John Deere, green and yellow. What do we start with? John Deere Gator. What was I doing? Taking a MIG gun, a MIG welder, welding these parts together with a MIG welder. So that's the tip of the MIG welder. That's the wire coming out of the MIG welder, touching the W, and the blue is the electric arc from welding. I've never told anybody, I don't even think, actually I had to tell the guys that work here this morning what it means, and Hunter. No one knew except for me. So I've held that secret for 20 years, and the cat is out of the bag. So I just want to say thank you. You guys have blessed our lives, all of us. You know, we've grown to 6 people working here. One of my favorite most things is my son got to grow up around me, dealing with UTVs, riding them. This made me think about an old video when we moved in this building. He was skating around on a pallet jack, and I hollered on the video, "What's your job?" And he said, I think he either said president, and then he said test guy. So he's been a tester for all these years. But he went off to play some baseball, Mississippi State, graduated business there, and came to work here last May. And he is the one that you see responsible for the Amazon and Instagram and Facebook and Google shops and YouTube shops, and his new site that he uses all that on, hunterworks1.com. But we just graduated over 20 years. And so that's kind of a brief, hopefully brief, history of Hunterworks. And once again, I can't say enough about how much I appreciate you as our customer. It has just been a blessing all these years. I'm 55. I don't plan on going anywhere. Maybe when my wife retires in 2 years, I'll work less, maybe, and let Hunter do the majority of it. But I have no plans to retire. Just die doing this, and so let's see if we can't do a 40-year video at some point. Some of you younger guys may get tired of looking at an old man talking about clutching, but I don't think that's part's going to change. But anyway, I can run on all day. I appreciate you very much, and if we can help you in any way, let us know.